Morning. Good to see you guys. It's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you? Happy Friday. Good morning, you guys. Come on in, jump on in. I'm going to see if I can mirror myself on TikTok. Hold on, Instagram. Sorry about that. Good morning. I wanted to do a chocolate egg white bread today. Is anybody up for a chocolate egg white bread? Mirror my video. There we go. Oh. Okay. Well, I can do that, but now I can't see things on TikTok. I'm going to come back in on TikTok, you guys. Sorry. All right. So good to see you guys. I'm going to give you the recipe up front so that you can go ahead and you can screenshot it. And then we're going to make a chocolate egg white bread because I have actually the chocolate egg white protein powder. So whoopsie, let's do that today. I've been wanting to make egg white bread and I just haven't gotten to it. So let's do that today. How does that sound? And let me give you the recipe so you can screenshot it. And if you are on Instagram, you're probably going to have to like screen record it and then flip it inside of your camera. But here it is for Facebook. Let's do that. Make that easy for you guys. There we go. All right, perfect. There we go. Okay, here you go for, I know it's backwards, you guys, on Instagram. I apologize. Just go ahead and screenshot it and then you flip it in your camera. And then I flipped it. No, I didn't. It didn't flip for TikTok. So you have to screenshot it and then flip it in your camera, okay? I would love to know. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Cheryl. We're going to do chocolate egg white bread. I have been wanting to make some bread for a while. Carrie, good morning. There, I can move you back here, Carrie. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. Jump on in. Happy Friday. I wanted to do like some bread today. How are you guys doing? And then if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and throw them in the comments and I would be more than happy to answer, questions today, not just about bread, but about insulin resistance or anything else that we've been, chatting about over the mornings. Usually I'm here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And if you didn't know, we do recipes like this in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And good morning, Jan. How are you? I'm going to do a chocolate egg white bread. And this is a sample of kind of the recipes that we are doing in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. So if you're not in there, good morning. Good morning. Jump in there, you guys. Because I'll tell you what we're doing is we're doing a 5-day free challenge every single month. And it is a track for you to run on. It's a system for you to choose where I teach you targeted supplementation, ingredient trade outs, and a 5-day challenge. Okay. September is the 16th challenge. It's the 16th month in a row that we've done this. So don't miss out. Now I'm going to show you, this is the recipe. Go ahead and like screenshot it and flip it in your camera if it's backwards. Every single platform is different, right? But also too, I'm using the chocolate protein powder. You could use regular and add cocoa. All right. But this is what we're going to do. So I'm just going to show it to everybody. And then I'm going to turn the camera and get you guys going. We're going to get this party started because I definitely want to have some bread in my house. So making Maria Emmerich bread, that's really what this is. Maria Emmerich is the one that gave me the courage to really trade out my ingredients. Cindy, good morning. Finally got to catch me live. Yay, Cindy. Nice to see you. Very, very good. We're going to make chocolate bread. So, all right. I'm going to turn you guys so that you guys can see more of what I'm doing and less of my face, because you really want to just see what I'm doing. That's what you want there. And then you guys, I'm trying this landscape instead of vertical because I just feel like in StreamYard, vertical is weird. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. And if you guys have questions, I'll pause every now and again and come back and answer questions, okay? But let's get started. This is very exciting. Okay, so if you've never used the egg white protein powder before, this I just get off of like Amazon, okay? And this is what I'm using today. This is actually the chocolate one, but if you have the regular or the vanilla, that would work too. So in this recipe that I was just showing you guys, she's talking about using, I'm not using any fresh egg whites in this. That's really important for you to know because normally I'm starting with egg whites, but today I'm not going to. I'm going to start only with the chocolate protein powder. So I'm going to start with, let's see here. I'm going to do 1.5 cups of protein powder. I love this bread so much, you guys. Oh, let me turn on my oven to 325. I'm going to use a baker. This is just my choice, and I put parchment paper in it. I'm not going to spray it or do anything like that. I'm literally just going to do this. You can use a loaf pan. You don't have to use a baker. You can make it up just as much as you want to. So let's do 1.5 cups of this first. As you can see, this is chocolate. See, it's brown. Now, the thing is that what I am going to do is I may add a little bit of cocoa to it because she's using like a vanilla egg white protein powder, and then she's adding cocoa to it. I already have chocolate, so I'm thinking I don't need as much, but let's just see what we got here. And I actually, when I bought this chocolate one, you guys, it's because I made a mistake. But I think it's a really good mistake. So 1.5 cups of the chocolate protein powder. All right. Because I do like chocolate. Now, what I like to do personally with, like, when I make these into sweetbreads, the reason why I like it is because I can fry these up and I can slice it and fry it up in the morning for breakfast. And then I have a sweetbread along with, and this kind of smells like Nestle Quick. That's what this smells like, just FYI. When I do this, how was I going to say this? Oh, when I do a sweetbread and I slice it, and then that is literally like, you could turn that into French toast is what, it's like, it's an amazing thought process. I'm going to put all my dry ingredients in first. So she has 1/4 cup of allulose. Allulose is what makes the bread brown. Now, most people don't know, like if you make this with just straight erythritol, I'm going to put 1/4 cup in there. You're going to maybe have bread that is, if you were using plain egg white protein powder, this would be more white instead of getting golden brown. But if we add the allulose, that really helps a lot. Then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And the reason why you do cream of tartar is because it stabilizes egg whites. And we're going to whip this until they're super stiff. So dry ingredients first. Has anybody made these sweet before? Like I usually do, sometimes I add extracts. Like you could add an almond extract into this. Make it chocolate almond. You could add your light is not eligible for, I don't know what that is. Hold on. I might be promoting a brand and I'm not. That's so funny. TikTok is very challenging sometimes. Just go with the flow, baby. Got to trust the process. They just say things that aren't true. It's really weird. TikTok is strange. Okay. I'm going to add, I think, 1/4 cup of cocoa just to make this a little extra chocolatier. Like I said, she was using regular egg white protein powder or vanilla protein powder, and then she was adding cocoa to it, 1/2 cup. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do 1/4 cup. I don't need it to be that extra chocolatey. And I might find out that that's even more chocolatey than I want it to be. I know. Is that even possible? I understand. And then I'm debating on whether or not, do I want to add in any vanilla? I don't know. Maybe I'll grab some vanilla. Let me do that. All right, so let's do 1.5 cups of water. Do this one right here. So this is the easy way. This is the easiest way possible to make an egg white bread by using 1.5 cups of egg white protein powder and 1.5 cup of water. This is easy, okay? As opposed to whipping up egg whites first. So if you want easy street, this is easy street. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in just a little bit of vanilla. I'm always just doctoring. And I'm going to add in a squirt of stevia because I want to boost the sweetness. So I'm just going to use a squirt of stevia, boost that sweetness, because I'm going to tell you right now, allulose, even though it makes it nice and golden brown, it's not very sweet. Okay, I'm going to get this whipping, and we're going to get these to be stiff egg whites, and then we'll put them into our pan. You guys, it doesn't get easier than this. This is a grain-free bread made out of egg whites. This is chocolate. And then basically what you have is you have something that is sweet and delicious that you can have for breakfast, and it will not spike your sugars because it's all protein and there's no grain in there. So I'm going to turn this on and let's see if we can get these to be nice stiff peaks. Good morning, Wendy. Watching while your husband drives you home from Rebecca, Delaware beaches. Oh, my stars. How wonderful. Hold on, Judith. I will answer that. I just saw it. Come on. Here's the recipe. You can screenshot that and then flip it inside of your camera. You know what? I should have put egg white protein powder. Hold on, I need to change that. you go. Egg white protein powder. You can screenshot that and then flip it in your camera. Screenshot that and then flip it in your camera. I have no idea, but this is not whipping, you guys. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to have to start with egg whites. Look at how this did not whip. It never whipped. Isn't that bizarre? That's literally never happened to me before. So let me go ahead and I'm going to actually whip up straight egg whites and then we'll add some chocolate protein powder to it. That is so bizarre, you guys. How crazy pants is that? But I'm not going to, I am not going to waste this. So I'm not sure yet what I will do with it. However, I think that I might put it onto a jelly roll pan. If I put it onto a jelly roll pan and then I bake it, it'll bake into kind of like a cake mixture. And I feel like that's not a bad trade-out. So I'm definitely not going to get rid of that because that was 1.5 cups of the egg white protein powder. So we don't want to do that. My oven is ready. So just to let you know, 325 is what you're going for on your oven. And then you'll go about 25 minutes. Sorry, 45 minutes. All right. Let's make this chocolate. Okay, so somebody asked about the apple cider vinegar before meals. I've never done that. What I have done is instead 30 minutes before a meal, take the glucose product in the trio. That's far, far more effective in my opinion. Now, if apple cider vinegar works and you're testing your blood, that's probably the best way for you to know that it's doing what you want it to do. So there are many things that I've never tried because it was just never a part of the conversation when I started working on my sugars and my insulin. Berberine is one of those. It was not a topic when I started to work on stuff for myself. Berberine was nowhere to be. It wasn't a part of the conversation. So I never tried it because it just didn't, whatever, right? It wasn't a part of my life. So, but it doesn't mean that won't work for somebody, right? All right, so I'm going to use a pint of egg whites. And this is after having that conversation yesterday. Do you guys remember what we were talking about yesterday with the egg whites? OMG. So that guy who was working at a company said that, and it was the company that makes egg products for food service companies. And he was talking about, this was local. He was working for them locally here. And he was saying that they were putting, in order to balance the pH level, they were adding caustic acid. And he said, that's just not healthy. I'm like, no, that's not. And that's for food service for children, for the school system. So I was saying, I'm probably going to have to figure out how to, I'm probably going to have to figure out, I know it's not hard. You know, Maria Emmerich, I see her all the time. All the time. She is like doing her own, separating her own eggs. She does it all the time. She doesn't even think twice about it. And I just got lazy, right? So probably a better idea. I already pick up so many eggs at one time, but you know what? Maybe that's just what you do. Maybe you just decide that you're going to, no matter what, you're just going to separate eggs, and that's going to be your life, and it's okay. It's no big deal. So I'll put a little bit of vanilla in there because I am going to add I'm going to make this sweet again. I'm just not even going to skip a beat. We'll do about a quarter cup of the allulose. We want to make this turn golden brown, even though it probably will because of the chocolate egg protein powder. It's probably going to be, and I feel like I'm going to do maybe about 1/8 of a cup of cocoa. I'm concerned it's going to get too chocolatey otherwise. I'm going to boost the sweetness just a little bit because allulose, it's going to brown my bread, but it's not very sweet. Okay? Allulose is, this is a very good sweetener. It actually, studies are showing that it's lowering blood sugar. It's a very good sweetener. Wow, that's getting thick fast. Check that out. It's getting there. Yeah, so Jan, as far as the greens taste, yeah, you know what? It's basically like drinking tea. So you could either warm it or, you know, you could add it to like a protein shake, I suppose, right? Well, that's getting thick. Let me check that. That just looks like that's a lot. I think that's pretty, yep, that's good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of this egg white protein powder and mix that in. Let me see here. This is going to make such a yummy bread. Now, if I had almond extract, I would probably add almond extract to it. And I'll tell you, this is when I would add any extra and any different extract. At the very beginning, I'll add vanilla. It does not seem to bother the whipping of the egg whites. At this point, though, I could add banana, almond, whatever I want, but I would not add that at the beginning. because you never know what's going to affect the egg whites. And that's the biggest issue. So now I'm just going to very carefully start to incorporate that, because it obviously, there's a lot of poof in there from the powder. All right. There, that's all I'm going to do on that. You can see how stiff that is. So I'll show you. Pretty stiff, right? You don't want them to be overly whipped, but you don't want them to be under whipped either. Okay, so I hope that gives you a clear picture. And then let's put this in the pan. And then any questions that you guys have, once I get this into the oven, I can sit down and answer questions. So hold on just a second before you put them in the comments. I'm glad that I added cocoa, because I don't know how chocolatey it would. I mean, it would have been somewhat chocolatey, but that kind of added a boost. So basically, think chocolate angel food, sort of. And this is going to go in the oven for 45 minutes at 325. I'm going to take it out and let it completely cool on a cooling rack. There are so many variations to this, you guys. Do not be concerned about that. Like, just embrace the variations. Sometimes I'm doing breads that she has gelatin in them. Sometimes there's not. Many people have tweaked this and done really fun things with it. So this is why I love this bread so much, and I love talking about it so much, is because this can be, you can incorporate one thing into your world, just one thing, and it can change everything for you. So here's the bread in it. This one, it happens to be in a baker. Okay. You could do yours in a loaf pan. Okay. And we're going to put this in the oven, 325. For 45 minutes. All right. Now, quickly before I sit down, if you remember correctly, I made originally a chocolate protein powder with equal amounts of chocolate protein powder and water, according to a recipe, and it did not work out. It didn't whip. So I just have a liquid mess. Well, not mess, but just a liquid, a chocolate liquid. So I'm actually going to lay that into this jelly roll, and we're going to see what it's going to turn out to be. Like, what if it makes a cake? A cake. So here we go. Can everybody see that? Yep, everybody can see that. This is the batter that I just made when I first got on live, and it did not whip up the eggs. But I don't want to waste it, because that is literally a cup and a half. A cup and a half of powder, egg white protein powder. Now, if you've ever purchased egg white protein powder, you know that there's a price on that, right? It's not super cheap. So we're not going to waste any of that. And this is literally just what I do. I make things up so that, Because what if this just turns into kind of like a brownie a little bit? It may not. At the very least, maybe it turns into just kind of a low-lying cake type of a mixture, and then you can crumple it up. And guess what I could add that to? I could add that to my Ninja Creamy, like crumbles. I could take crumbles of it, add that to my Ninja Creamy, like ice cream stuff that I make. So I'm going to add this to the oven at the same time. And we're just going to see what happens with that. Ooh, that's super liquidy. Super duper liquidy. Almost a mess waiting to happen. But not quite. Okay. Now let's sit down and chat here for just a minute. All right. Okay, so how you guys doing? Good to see you. You made the egg white protein bread. You didn't add any water. Is this a new recipe? Yes. So let me explain, because that actually didn't work, Jan. So I knew that there was a recipe out there that has just the egg white protein powder and water equal amounts. I've made it before and it's turned out brilliantly. It's just another variation. I did that this morning and it did not whip. The egg white powder didn't whip. I don't know why. So that's what I just placed in my jelly roll pan, and I'll make it into whatever it turns into. We'll see. So I started from scratch. Starting from scratch for me meant, let's go back to the old way that I make the egg white protein bread, which is starting with like a pint of egg whites, or something like 10 to a dozen egg whites if you're going to split them yourself, and then adding in the protein powder at the end. That's the original way that I make it. You could go online and find so many variations. Somebody just told me, Mary actually told me, she saw somebody that has actually tweaked it and she's put yeast in hers and it's worked. I have no knowledge of that yet. I can't wait to find out, but I have no knowledge of that as of yet, as to how that works at all. So there are a lot of different versions. So you didn't do anything. Yeah, that was a new recipe, but it actually didn't work. So we'll find out what happens, but I'm going to be able to use that though in something, right? So I bought a Ninja Creamy. Oh, thank you so much for the hearts. I love you guys so much. You're so good to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. We have a chocolate egg white protein powder bread in the oven right now, a grain-free bread. So that's what we're doing. Very, very good. See you later, Judith. Have a really good day. I think I didn't miss anything yet. Okay. But I bought a Ninja Creamy Deluxe. Don't know if y'all have one or not, but I decided I was going to pull the trigger on it. I'm super happy that I did, because now I can make little pints of ice cream out of like the sugar-free chocolate pudding. Do you guys know what that is? So you're new and you've been on the system for 1 month. Well, that's fantastic. Tell me what your name is so that I can know, and then tell me like how you're feeling. I would love to know. The Ninja Creamy, what I wanted to really do was, I saw somebody in Maria's group. She said that she took the sugar-free chocolate pudding and she turned that into an ice cream. And I went, oh my stars, because that's going to make a high protein ice cream, because you've got all the egg whites in there, the cooked egg whites. Well, that was kind of it for me. So actually, let me show you the two that I mixed up last night. I haven't put them into the balloons. I haven't put them into the machine yet, but let me show you what I have. Hold on. Let me grab them for you out of the freezer. I did two different kinds. So this is the chocolate pudding one. And trying to think if I did anything special with this one. Yes, I added collagen. I have powdered collagen that I added, collagen peptides. I did that. And then this one is, I wanted to try something different. So this one is Okay, the base is actually like a cup of cottage cheese because that's that cottage cheese trend going on. And so, Penny, nice to see you. Your glucose is staying low. You've lost 10 pounds? Penny, I'm so proud of you. 1 month. 1 month. That's fantastic. Your glucose is staying low. Very, very good, Penny. Very good. This is cottage cheese. Hold on. What did I add to this? I think it was unsweetened almond milk. No, you guys, this one, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. This is 1 month, or sorry, cottage cheese, a can of coconut milk. And then I did like banana extract. I did some strawberry protein powder. So this is a high protein one also. So when I mix them, we'll find out. But what I was saying was with the one that didn't turn out, that's now in my jelly roll pan. You know what? Even if that just turns kind of cake-like, I could like crumble it up. And then the Ninja Creamy has like, you can do a mix-in. So what you're doing with this particular product is you're like freezing things first, and then you are, and then you're remixing them, but you can also add in stuff. So like, let's say you were adding in chocolate chips or something like that. There's a mix in button. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing with that, but I'll put these away here. So good, you guys. That's been just a fun addition. And the reason why egg white protein bread helped me so much in my transition is because when you're insulin resistant, trying to find foods that don't spike your sugar so that you can actually begin to lose weight is really challenging when you're in the mindset of you're always wanting bread, you're always wanting pasta. And that was definitely my universe being Italian. So wanting bread and pasta is like very common. And I never, ever thought that I would trade that out. But, you know, when you have people like Maria Emmerich being the creators, I'm not the creator of the recipes. I tweak them. I switch them up. I teach them to other people. This is a little sample of what we do inside of the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can always jump in there. And that is a place where you can then be encouraged and resourced. Like every month we do a 5-day challenge, you guys, talking about insulin resistance, food ingredient trade outs and stuff like that. And that makes such a difference. I heard somebody the other day say, this is a side note on TikTok, if you're watching from the balcony, come on in, join the party. I thought that was a really good point because on TikTok, you can see things from the outside. But anyway, having a thought process towards trading out your food ingredients and knowing that it's not as mountainous as you thought it was, man, I'm telling you, you guys, it changes everything for you. Yes, Mary, yes. A different version. That is so true. So I just know that for myself, I never thought that I was going to be able to, you know, switch my insulin resistance, much less lose 3 sizes in my 50s. Like I never thought that was possible. But I feel like most women do not know that if your insulin and your sugars are high, and guys too. I had a guy text me 2 days ago and he said, and I didn't even know this, and he goes, I've actually gone from 220, it was either 220, I think it was 223 pounds down to 184 pounds. And he said, I've been taking the Trio for a year. Those are the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. And he goes, per your recommendation. And it has taken him a little bit over a year. But because when you can take your sugars and your insulin down, you know, and my journey was slow too. So his was slower than a lot of people, but so was mine. But you know what? Now I don't care. I do not wake up thinking, oh, my journey was so slow. No, I wake up going, thank you, Jesus, that I've switched 3 sizes and I don't ache when I wake up. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for how I feel. And that is the biggest, maybe for me, that's the biggest non-scale victory that I can talk about for myself, because it affects then how I am able to like hang out with my grandbabies. It affects, like, for instance, now I live in Minnesota. And we have the Minnesota State Fair. It just started. Let's see, today's Friday. It started yesterday. Well, we're big state fair people. So we'll go as a family and we might spend like 12 hours at the fair. I know, we're crazy. You don't have to be crazy like us. But I want to be able to experience whatever my kids want to experience, right? Whatever my grandsons want to experience. I want to be able to be a part of that. And so for me, those are the things that matter the most to me. So when somebody tells me, I love all of the testimonies just like you do about losing weight, dropping sugars for sure, A1C, somebody saying that they're off of a couple of BP meds. I love all of that. But when you guys tell me how it has changed your function, changed the way that you're able to do daily life, man, I'll tell you, that's everything. There's somebody that jumps on here. He does dialysis, and while he's doing dialysis, he likes to watch this show, whatever you want to call it. We're here every morning, 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And he likes to watch because he feels encouraged and resourced, whatever. And he's had to make changes for his own life. But you know what? When you buy back, so to speak, your function and your daily life, man, it changes everything. How bad are they for insulin resistant, or are you saying emphatically that STATINSs are bad for insulin resistance, or are you asking how bad are they for insulin resistance? And I can't say the name because TikTok will shut me down. STATINSs. I would love to know if you're asking that my opinion on that, or I'm very opinionated. If you didn't know that already, I'm Italian. I'm very opinionated. And you know what? The reason why I am is because my dad, when he died of type 2 diabetes, he was on so many meds. And his quality of life just tanked and tanked and tanked. Meds gave him no quality of life. You're asking, they're bad. They're bad. I would never, personally, I am not a doctor. I'm an Italian girl who figured it out. I will never take an STATIN ever. And the reason why is because, number one, if you turn back your insulin resistance, you're turning back pretty much everything. So I talk all day long about insulin resistance being the core of freaking everything. If we could just wake up our minds to understand how insulin resistance is literally the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So I'm going to talk to you about targeted supplementation, the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. I started there over 10 years ago. And then I'm going to talk to you about ingredient trade outs. And then I'm going to do like a 5-day challenge every month inside of the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. That's the track that I talk to people about. Then you won't even have to have a doctor talking to you about an STATIN because everything's going to shift. But one of the main reasons why I will never take one of those is because, number one, I do not believe the numbers that they give us. I agree with a different set of doctors that talk about cholesterol. Our brains need cholesterol. Our hormones need cholesterol. And bringing it down when your liver's trying to produce it for a really good reason, that's a really dumb idea. This is just me being super honest. And so I will never do that because it is detrimental to your body. And your hormones get so messed up because you take away what it needs, cholesterol. That's why people go on an STATIN, and then they usually get a little bit of sadness going, that big D word, and then they need an anti-sadness pill. And then the brain needs cholesterol so badly, it needs fat so badly that we have the dementia stats have just skyrocketed since the introduction of STATINSs in about 1987. And my mother passed away from dementia last year. So there are just a lot of these conversations that are really close to my heart. Hey, Jacqueline, good to see you. So yeah, I will never. This is why this conversation is criminal. because we're not talking about a terminal diagnosis of any kind. This isn't terminal. Insulin resistance is turnaroundable. It's not terminal, it's turnaroundable. Okay. So what that means then is there are simple answers that they just plain flat out don't want you to know about. So you will rarely get an answer that says anything to you about trading out your ingredients or, trading out the way that you're eating, etc., or filling in nutritional deficiencies, which is what I talk about all the time. Like, what if it was so simple that we're missing it? What if it was so simple? And that's literally what I have been doing, like with the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I mean, I've been offline for a decade talking about the trio to people locally. And then about 6 years ago, I got online and I didn't talk very specifically about just insulin. I was talking about hormones in general. But then I narrowed it down, and that's when everything went boom, because people have a lot of issues with insulin resistance. That is the connection to PCOS and fatty liver and gout and type 2 and dementia and, the fat around your organs and all of it. And so that's why it really exploded in that arena. And so now with the group, we'll do the 16th challenge in September. And I just want everybody to know. And I know that I can't talk to everybody all at one time, but I can do as much as I can and let people know if it's in your heart to either, if it's in your heart to either ditch the matrix or avoid the matrix, that's the conversation that I want to have with people. You can be your own advocate. You do not need a team of doctors for insulin resistance. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. Hold on. Tammy, what are you saying? I want to thank you so much for being you. You are helping all of us change our lives for the better. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you so much for saying that. I really, 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 really do. It's just really it's so important. And it just makes me, I don't know any other word other than criminal. I don't. I really don't. And more and more and more information is coming out. And I'm so grateful for all of the content creators that are out there, for all of the interviews that show up on my FYP of people being interviewed about how toxic our food supply is, about how upside down our food pyramid is, how we've been taught everything incorrectly. If what they have taught us in our educational systems and in our medical provider offices, if it worked, we wouldn't be more obese than we've ever been, sicker than we've ever been, more medicated than we've ever been. And the only conversation that they would be having us would not be, let's just add another script or up a dose. It's being ran by very, very, very powerful people who make a lot of money. The fact that I have to speak in code tells you everything you ever need to know. You don't need to know anything else. So if you're getting your advice from the Today Show, from the morning news shows, that's a really bad place to get advice. Just saying. It's a really bad place to get advice because they're all bought out. The media is all bought out. They will never. Are you kidding me? Do you think they're going to go against PHA? No, they're not going to. They're not going to. So what happens is people come and they say to me things like, I want to get off of meds. I want to avoid meds. Like, can you help me? Whatever. And again, I'm just an Italian girl who figured things out. However, the point is that you really can, you can change things. But what happens when you do? What happens when you change it? What happens when you turn back your insulin resistance? Well, you begin to sleep better. You begin to have more energy. When we're filling in nutritional deficiencies, like with the trio, those I don't have them in front of me. They're right over there. The 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I talk about them all the time. That's, you guys can it's a part of the list. If you guys type in list up there, it's just a good place to start. Because what if you fill in some nutritional deficiencies and add a couple of herbs in there and all of a sudden the food noise starts to simmer down. What would that feel like? So that you're just not thinking about like freaking out about food all the time. And it's because we're deficient in simple things, you know? It's really quite an amazing conversation to have. And I feel like I'm a little surprised. I feel very protected in what I did. Like thank God that I wasn't a type. I'm the only one in my family that avoided it. But I feel like I shouldn't have been the one to avoid it because I was gestational with my first baby, hypoglycemic with my second baby, and I didn't do anything about my sugars for 20 years. That's a really long time to not do anything about your sugars or about your insulin resistance, I should say. It's a really long time. But that should tell you that your body can heal, that your body can turn things around. That's what that should tell you. So anyway, so today we made a chocolate egg white protein bread, and I can show you the recipe before I jump off so you guys can see it. This is, nope, I don't want that one. I want my other one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the other one, because that one didn't work. So let's see here. Let me see here. Where did I set that down? Oh, for Pete's sake. I can rewrite it too. Let me see. I don't want to give you the one that didn't work. Let me grab. Okay. This is the original one that I normally make. And I'm going to show you the original one because this is the one, for whatever reason, the one with just the egg white protein powder and the water this morning didn't work. And I don't know why. So what I'll do is I'll just hold this up so that you can at least have something to work with today. Right. And I ended up using the egg white protein powder that I'm using today. It happens to be chocolate. And then I added a little extra cocoa in there to make it more chocolatey. And when I make it this way, I like to slice it and then you can fry it in butter and eat it with your eggs. And that gives you, literally think about that. If you go to a coffee shop and you grab yourself a coffee and then you're getting a scone or you're getting a muffin or you're getting whatever, that for me, this is completely replacing that thought process of having something in the morning that has something sweet. Or like sometimes I'll make this as a banana cinnamon bread. And then if you fry it, I mean, you can have it turn into like French toast and use like a sugar-free maple syrup on it. So there are so many ways that you can replace what you already love. And you don't have to give up everything that you love. You don't have to do that. So I'm going to give you this as the original one that I have used. And if it's backwards, just screenshot it and turn it around in your camera. And that's the best way to do it. And so we're going to do this in the 325 degrees, and I'll show it to each platform. 325 degrees for about 45 minutes. I do mine in a baker, you guys. I like the shape of a baker better than a loaf pan. I don't know why. I just do. It's just my thing, but you can totally use a loaf pan. Okay. I'll put it there. And you just pile it high. You're going to lose volume because it's an egg white. Okay. So the recipe that I gave earlier in the live, I apologize. It didn't work. So I don't want people to don't mess that. Don't make the same mistake I made. I don't know why it didn't. It just didn't. Sometimes egg whites are weird and they do weird things. So hopefully that helps somebody today so that you can make something different for the weekend. And if you want to get in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, this is a sample of kind of, excuse me, some of the things that we do. at the end of every challenge, we do a recipe so that you guys can have something in your repertoire, something in your routine of changing things out so that you can actually stop spiking your sugars, because it's not all about balance. I know that's what society wants us to think, but that's a lie. And if any nutritionist, diabetic nutritionist, is telling you that you can have 150 grams of carbs a day, they're giving you some of the worst advice ever. And you will forever be on a hamster wheel. You will forever be frustrated, and you will forever increase in your dosages or in the amount of meds that you're taking. In my opinion, you will never get off of meds by that kind of advice. So instead, choose to just go a different route so that you can have a different function of life. And in a year, you can be in a completely different place a lot sooner than that. But I'm always like, well, the time's going to pass anyway. So what if it took a year for you to get your BP down? What if it took you a year to get your Dawn phenomenon down? What if it did take a full year? I don't think it's going to. I mean, all you have to do is go to my Instagram page, and at the top, there's a pink highlight bubble. Testimony after testimony after testimony from people who are taking the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin resistance. All you have to do is go look at there. Or when you get into the group today, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, go to guide number 4. And you'll see for yourself. Okay? And that way you can have some maybe hope and encouragement. And over the weekend, reach out to me. Don't sabotage your own efforts. Reach out to me and say, listen, you were talking about the trio. Can you send me, can you send me a cart that has all 3 products in there? Something like that, right? And I'll get that to you, because I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We come on and we talk about insulin resistance. And we talk about how to shift the narrative of the indoctrination that we're being given, because it's not helpful. People are really sick and struggling, and one of the young men that gets on here when he's doing dialysis, you guys, he's 36 years old. Yep. So this isn't a joke anymore. And I'll end with this, and then I'll let you guys go. The other day I went and I had a massage, and he told me about how his son and his wife both had their gallbladders removed this year. And did you know that we have fatty liver in our children now? 50 years ago, fatty liver, you were an alcoholic. Now it's super common, and this is no joke. No joke. If any doctor is making light of that conversation, get a new one. You're the consumer. Get a new one. It's a big, big deal, because it's completely reversible until it's not, until it's cirrhosis. And then you can't shift that. Okay. So you really, really, really do need to take this stuff seriously, because the end results, they're not fun. And the quality of life, my dad was on dialysis puking for 2 years. The end result is not pretty. However, what if we did simple supplementation? We did simple ingredient trade outs. We learned how to I'm just telling you, what if it was and then our brain fog was better and our sleep was better and we didn't ache so much and we actually had energy and like myself, dropped 3 sizes. What if? They've got us running on a hamster wheel over there, and they're just raking in the money off of the PHAR. You know what I mean? Just raking in the money. And you are maybe on meds that they're telling you have to be on that are giving you diarrhea. I'm just saying, we can do things differently. It's a much better track to run on. The results are so much more amazing, and you can take back your life and become your own advocate. You really, 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 really can. 100%. 100%. You don't have to listen to the noise anymore. So anyway, you have a whole weekend. If somebody tries the bread, let me know. I would love to know if it's your first time. And if you need to see like a little 8-minute, actually it's about 7 minutes. I have a 7-minute video tutorial on my site, which is my first and last name, .com, kirstenliebelt.com. And Kirsten is Kirsten. And then my last name looks like lie, like you lie down, belt, like you put a belt on, Kirsten Liebelt, but it looks like liebelt.com. One page, super streamlined. Just go like this, scroll up, and you're going to see a little video tutorial of how to make this egg white bread. And I'm trying to remember which one that one was. That was cinnamon banana. Okay. And then that's something that you can put into your repertoire right now, today. And then there's also a Facebook blue button on there. And that's how you can get into the Facebook group. And so maybe this is a weekend that you shift everything so that September, when September rolls over, maybe you have a completely different plan in place. And then maybe, you know, like other people tell me, I've been on it for a month and I've lost 10 pounds. And I've been, you know, that guy who's, you know, whatever, however much he's lost, 2384, so 15. So 23, 33, 38 pounds, almost 40 pounds in a year he's lost by taking the trio and switching out some ingredients. Like, that's amazing, you guys. That's amazing. What if you're in a different place by Halloween? Like, I'm just saying. So if you need anything, let me know. My contact information is out there for you so you can get a hold of me very purposely. And if you're on TikTok, I do need to have you like follow me, because otherwise I'll just disappear into the algorithm universe. But otherwise, everybody else, let me know if you need anything at all. Messenger on Facebook, my inbox on Instagram and TikTok. That's why I put stuff up there for you guys, because it's different on TikTok. I can't send you guys the same stuff. So that's how we have to do it differently, if you're wondering. All right, guys, have a super blessed day. And I'm almost done with my bread, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull it out. And where I can, it won't be on TikTok, but on no, I can't do it on Instagram either. I can put it in my stories on Instagram, and on Facebook, I can post it in the comments. That's what I can do. So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Have a really, really, really blessed weekend. Enjoy yourselves, okay? See you later, TikTok. Good to see you guys. All right, Facebook, if you need the trio, put trio in the comments below. Put, you know, like I'll send you a cart if you want all three of those in one cart. You can put that in the comments below, and I will get that information to you as soon as I can. And if I've missed comments because StreamYard, I'll jump off and I'll go and look at the comments, okay? See you later.